Hello, sixth graders. Today we are going to be working on lesson 1.1.3. Right now, please get out your math notebook, look at these 5 problems, and solve them in your notebook. We're going to pause the video. Come after you have had a few moments to complete these problems, we will come back and check our work. So, pause the video. Okay. Rounding to the nearest tenth. So when we round to the nearest tenth, we need to identify what number is in the 10th place. We have ones, decimal, tenths, and hundredths place. So when rounding and referring to decimals, we refer to the decimal as and. So it's 4 and 75 hundredths. Now we need to identify what values are in the tenths place. So I'm going to go through and quick underline my tenths place on each of these 3 problems. And then to round to the nearest tenth, we look at the digit that's in the hundredths place, the digit behind what we are rounding to. So we are closer to 4 and 80 hundredths than 4 and 70 hundredths, so it's 4 and 7 tenths. Our 3 is in the tenths place. Our 2 is in the hundredths place. So here we are closer to 5 and 3 tenths than 5 and 4 tenths. Here we look at the 8 in the hundredths place. The 2 in the thousandths place doesn't even matter. So then we can round up. But if we round this up to 3, we have to round up to our 9. Our 3 has to change to a 4. Since we can round to the 10th, we're going to write it as 4 and 0 tenths, or 4 would just be fine. Then solving your decimals. Remember when you're doing decimal operations, line up those decimal points. So hopefully you set your problem up this way, and then we pay attention to the operation. This problem is addition. So solve your problem and drop your decimal straight down, 16 and 26 hundredths. You can do any way you want for subtracting here. We can do 30 and 0 hundredths minus 12 and 34 hundredths. But I'm going to show you a little trick that some of my students have been telling me. Instead of doing this and having to do all this regrouping, right away they've just borrowed 1/100th away from 30. So they take 100th away from 30, so that means it's 29 and 99 hundredths. 29 and 99 hundredths, now we are just subtracting 12 and 34 hundredths. Notice there's no more regrouping, so it's an easy subtraction problem. We have our 5, 9 minus 3 is 6, bring down our decimal point, 7, 1. But we borrowed that 1/100th earlier, so we have to bring that back and return it. So 17 and 66 hundredths. Okay, we're going to continue working with decimals a lot over the next couple weeks. Today's homework is going to be very similar to the rounding activity you did up here. Chapter 1, I can work with my team. Today you're going to be working with your team to figure out patterns. Identify what the question is asking. Are you answering the whole thing? Organize your work so that others can follow it, and can you describe your thinking in multiple ways? Today, extend the pattern. Can you generalize? Make a rule to make a prediction about how that pattern is going to extend. So we are doing lesson 113 in our textbook, and that's going to be on page 12 when we get to it. So, how does it grow? Describing and extending patterns. Patterns are everywhere. We see them in nature with pine cones, flowers, in the grocery store with stacks of vegetable, produce, toilet paper. We see them in math class. We look around the room, we see them on the walls and on the floors. Patterns are interesting because there's so many ways people can see and interpret the patterns. In this course, we're going to look at multiple ways to see this. We're going to try and take patterns and set them up to a math equation, and we're going to use this as our building blocks to start to write algebraic equations as we get into the school year. Today, what everyone is going to need is a piece of graph paper. Do not move yet. When we pause the video, this is what you're going to do. One person, the person who is sitting closest to the door in that front corner seat of the table, is going to get up and get a piece of graph paper for everyone in your group. You're going to come back, and together you are going to work on question 15, part A. Working together on 15 part A is on page 12 of the textbook. I will also give you a glimpse of it, but you are going to have to refer to the textbook because I'm going to leave this task order up on the screen for you to reference as you work through class. On 15A, so task 1, everyone works together. You copy figures 1, 2, and 3 in your notebook, and then you continue that pattern for figures 4 and 5. Once the whole table has that, when the whole team agrees that everyone looks the same, you are going to go on to parts B and C. Each team member, everyone in your team needs to be showing their work on their own graph paper. When you get done with part C, check with the teacher. If it is diagrammed correctly and the number of dots are correct, go on and solve part D. Part D is a little bit of a challenge. At this point, we're going to pause the video and you're going to be able to reference your textbook pages, starting at page 12 in the textbook, to find problem 15, parts A, B, C, and D. You have 2 textbooks on your table. Share them with your shoulder partner. At the end of class, we are going to get time to work on our gold worksheet. With about 5 minutes left, we're going to start. This is a rounding worksheet just like we did in our warm-up. All right, at this time, we're going to pause the video, and your job is to work on lesson 1.3, problem number 15, and you're starting with part A. Everyone needs to copy the dot pattern. Right now, your first job, copy these patterns. You can label this as figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, and figure 4 in your notebook. We're going to go to figure 4 and figure 5. On the graph paper, not your notebook. The graph paper is easiest to do today's activity if you go landscape side. So you go the long way. You can do it if you go vertical. You just have to make your dots a little bit smaller as you get to the higher numbered figures. Okay, describing the pattern, I hope you had some different ways. How many dots would be in the 10th figure? Well, the 10th figure would be 53 dots. So you have 53 dots. That's what it looked like. You needed to draw this. One of the biggest things I saw is people didn't draw this out. If you drew it out correctly, all you had to do was count your dots. Maybe you could figure out the pattern. Without drawing, is there someone who came up with a rule or a guess for what the 30th figure would be? We can take a pause here. If people want to share out some answers, then we'll come back. The 30th figure was, there are 30 figures of 5 dots each, plus the 3 dots that we started with. So our 30th figure was 153 dots. Okay, now we're going on to the homework assignment. Place value. The number assigned to each place that the digit occupies is the place value. If you look on both sides of the room, the place values are put up on the wall. Starting at the left side of the decimal point, the place values go from ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Notice these on the left all end in S. These numbers are greater than a whole. The numbers on the right side are tenths, hundredths, thousands. These end in THS. These values are less than a whole. The decimal point is represented by the word and. This page is in your math textbook, and now we'll be looking at how to access that online soon. Your gold worksheet is like this. Here are the first two problems from your gold worksheet. It says round 3,056 to the nearest 100. So identify what my 100 place is. I look at the digit behind. That means I'm going to round up. So 3,100. I have this little box here showing me what 3,100 should look like. So I find it in my answer bank. I come over and I shade in that box the way it looks next to mine. You can shade it, if you shade in all these shapes that are 3,100, and you do this for every problem, it's going to make a geometric pattern. You only have to shade in one. You must find this answer that you wrote down in the answer bank. That is your job. All right, problem number 2, round 3,056 to the nearest 10. So I'm looking at my tens place. I have a 6 behind it, so I'm going to round up. 3,060. So then I come over, I find my 3,060 on the answer bank, and I shade that in the pattern that is shown. This rounding activity should take you moments to solve the problems and a little bit just to locate your answer on the answer bank. What you do not complete in class is homework. Good luck, have fun, and I will see you tomorrow as we continue working on patterns.